Capricorn, it is a money honey month of February 2024 with a deep healing around a sense of not belonging to a true home. I'm loving what's up for you this month, and we're going to dive into some of the other details as well. Hey, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses. I also love the fixed stars and minor asteroids. I'm definitely trying to help you time your best life using astrology as a navigational tool. And you're my regulars, welcome back. If you don't know anything about me, getting a reading, taking my Sky Reader astrology class, getting on my wait list, etc., my Patreon community, all my 2024 All Signs bundle that's coming to a close. The end of the sale is at the end of January. All the information is in the description box below. Check it out. Capricorn, this is going to be an interesting month. You're going to have a Pluto party in your second house of earnings, possessions, and money. That's going to be a 5-planet pileup of Pluto, Venus, Mars, Mercury, and the Sun. Most intense, by the way, between February 16th and 19th. It looks like a financial glow up of some kind. We'll get into that in more detail when we get to the chronology of the month, but you can look forward to some shift in your earnings, possessions, resources, and finances as a general principle in February. At the very same time, I would mention there's a lot of loose energy going on of a positive, good, but not great flow between Saturn and Jupiter. And that's going to open up opportunities for you for travel, opportunities for you connected to romantic love and travel, your travel regarding your children, maybe also things going on in the online world if you're in social media land that benefit you and pop really nicely for your success and being seen more. And that is Jupiter in your fifth house, Saturn in your third. It's good for those things. It's good, but not great because they never quite perfect. But it does lead you to a lot of good energy. If you want to take a class, you want to be a teacher, you want to get a writing project started or off the ground, then you can see that really effectively happening in about the first 2 weeks of February as a broad theme. Let's go now and talk about 3 things. We're going to talk about Mercury, Venus, and Mars because they're changing signs this month. Then we're going to do the chronology of the month. So first of all, let's talk about Mercury. He's a fast-moving little bugger, and he's going to be moving on February 5th out of the sign of Capricorn, where he's been traveling, into the sign of Aquarius. Now, Mercury is in Capricorn with Mars before that, and you might have been really thinking about a lot of new ideas that you wanted. February 5th, and back it up 3 weeks, creating ideas, germinating ideas, doing a lot of thinking, maybe emails and phone calls, messaging people. Now he's gone into your second house of earnings as of the 5th of February to the 22nd. Well, it's a really good time, by the way, for negotiating contracts and deals and alignments around work, a new job negotiation, a contractual agreement for work. It's also a good time if you want to market or sell something, because that's what he's good at. And you could sell your car, sell your sofa, sell something that you possess. So selling a possession, very effective for February 5th to the 22nd. Hang on, I've been recording all day. I need a water break. And then on February the 20, so until February 5th, he's in Capricorn. February 5th to the 22nd, he's in your second house of earnings. And then on February 23rd, he moves into Pisces, which is your third house. He's in detriment here, so watch out. But it still is a good time for travel, short distances, writing projects to get lift off, doing a lot of communicating online, especially in social media website formats, maybe travel for commercial reasons, business reasons can happen here, and lots of conversations with people close to you, like your neighbors, like a childhood friend, like maybe a sibling. A lot of dialogue could be happening during that time between you and those people. Again, that's February 23rd to March the 9th. Because Neptune is here, just be careful you don't get swindled. Someone tries to sell you a tropical getaway, and you look closely at the details later on and realize that it's next to a garbage dump or something. So be careful around some misinformation around travel or skills-based educational opportunities. Venus is moving on January 23rd. She already moved January 23rd and will be until February 15th in Capricorn. Now she's there with Mars co-present, and this is a part of the sky where Mars was rising. We're going to get to the Mars rising story shortly. It happened in January. But when she was in Capricorn, she would said, get a haircut, get a new wardrobe, make yourself more beautiful, like yourself more, be popular, charming, and appealing to others. You wouldn't have tried. It would have just been natural. It would have been like flowing off of you. And you would have felt more bounteously happy and good about being you. Venus in the house of one's identity, especially for Cap rising, versus sun and moon. It can definitely feel, because you can listen for your rising sun and moon. I hope I said that in the beginning. It can definitely be a feel-good transit, especially for wardrobe, makeup, hair, face, just on general improvements to your appearance, basically. And then on February 16th, she moves out of Capricorn, your first house, into your second house of earnings, joining that Pluto party we're talking about. Now, when Venus is in Capricorn, when Venus is in your second house of earnings and possessions, you might want to buy a possession that gives you joy and pleasure that you truly desire. You also may be very capable of increasing your income, getting a raise, a promotion with Mercury there, negotiating a higher salary, getting a raise, getting a promotion, or indeed getting a new financially positive opportunity. Whether you're entrepreneurial and independently contracting or you're employed by a company, either can work out for a new lucrative, powerful, and wealth enhancing position for work, or increase in the current work situation that betters your finances. It's also very good when Venus goes through the second house for facial work, to do facial cosmetic procedures, or to have your teeth worked on and things like that, for beauty, for cosmetic reasons. And she'll be there from February the 16th to March the 12th. Especially with Mars co-presence in that part of the sky. After the 13th, it's really good for any kind of dental work for sure, that especially enhances your beauty. And even facial lasers, scalpels, or penetrating devices. You're really good to go February 16th onward, because you have Mars, the god of surgery, with Venus as well. And you may cut away some food styles, but we'll get to that in a minute. Then we move forward and we see Mars moving into Capricorn. Through Capricorn, not into, January 3rd to February 13th. Now, that included his visible rise on the 27th of January, around that time, meaning that you are now super powered up in the identity house. Your actions, your decisions, your identity are all on steroids. You're like going for it. Over the next 2 years, you are super powered, super powered, super powered. Although you may make major changes in your identity and how you see yourself, and the world will see those changes come forth as they watch the new you power up over the 2 years that follow. Well, check my Mars rising video that came out on January 25th for a deep dive into how that impacts you as a Capricorn rising. Now, we would also say that as Mars moves February 13th into your second house and joins that party of all the other planets, we're going to have this really tight window of time, the 16th and the 19th, while the sun is still in Aquarius, where you have a stellium of planets in your second house. Now, a stellium is just gravitational pull, and that gravitational pull is orienting you towards your resources, your earnings, your money that you make, and it also orients you towards your food style and what you ingest through your mouth. So a lot of this with Mars here, especially Venus, is to find pleasurable new styles of eating and getting rid of any food styles or addictions or things you ingest that aren't good for you. That can really be a super powered story here. But it is a money, earnings, resources, house and possessions as well. And as soon as you add Mars there, you add the energy of spending or the energy of self-starter. So entrepreneurial self-starter, independent money-making schemas and endeavors can be hatched here when Mars is here February 13th to March the 23rd. But I do want to say that there is a lot going on February 16th to the 19th, when the sun is still here, to open up career opportunities, money opportunities that are connected to work, that are connected to independence or entrepreneurial or passionate new directions in work. With Venus, it's lucrative, and Pluto, it's a bit of a wealth yoga, and Sun is your career. Mercury is emails, phone calls, and communication. So look for some really shifting energies around the 16th to the 19th of February, give or take a couple of days on either side. So I'm looking at you having a money glow up. That's basically the story. It should look good on you. Then I also want to point to the fact that when Mars is in the second house, your speech is sharper than usual, and that can be harmful to others if you're not careful. So, walk softly and carry a big stick, but don't hurt people with your words. Venus is trying to smooth out your speech and make it way more soft if she can, but you do have a very sharp speech style, or a very aggressive style, perhaps, especially with Mars, Mercury together in your second house of speech. Now let's go to the breakdown. I hope I'm not going to talk too fast. If I do, you can slow back the playback speed. February 7th to the 8th, we see Venus trining Uranus. This flow between Venus and Capricorn. Yeah, she's in there still back February 7th, 8th, and Uranus is a happy love and money surprise. It may be a happy surprise involving your children, your romantic partner, a lottery win, a gaming win, something to do with lucky breaks regarding a creative projects, things you're doing in the online world and the creative sphere of life. Lucky breaks on the 7th and the 8th, including writing projects because of Saturn in your third house. Then on February 8th, 9th, Mars is flowing to Neptune. Bottom line, that Mars-Neptune flow from Capricorn to Neptune can open up a really beautiful opportunity for travel and decisions you need to make around travel opportunities, but it's positive, so probably say yes. February the 10th, Mercury squares Jupiter. Now, Mercury squaring Jupiter is a difficult conversation, maybe about something that's true or not true, or maybe about an opportunity you want to take for leisure travel, fifth house Jupiter, your children, romantic life, romantic travel, entrepreneurial offers and consulting offers, creative projects. And then Mercury is like, oh, I'm not so sure we want to go with that. He's in Aquarius on February 10th, and that's in money and earnings and speech house. So there may be some conflict between a financial situation and one of your children, a romantic partner, a travel opportunity, or a creative project, and you have to come to terms with it and square it away. So look for that kind of tension in the sky on the 10th of February. On February 13th, Venus loves up Neptune, just like Mars did on February 8th. Hey, it's more of that money story connected to like Venus rules money, right? But at the time this happens, it's Venus in Capricorn in the house of you, looking beautiful and grandiloquent and charming as all F, flowing to Neptune in that travel house. So again, it could be an extension of the February 8th event, where on February 13th, you're consolidating some short distance travel plan, some online project, some online writing opportunity, maybe even getting asked to a podcast or to speak in front of people in a social media setting. Those things look really sweet. And again, they may be connected, right? February 8th may connect to sealing a deal with Venus February 13th. And some of that, if it's a travel, maybe involving a cousin or a childhood friend or a sibling. On February 13th to the 15th, we see Mars and Pluto in an intense conjunction that speaks to us of dominating willpower and personal willpower merging with divine or grander transcendent willpower. In 13th to the 15th, this merger is in your second house of earnings, and it can literally look like a change of financial direction that involves the word power, a powerful change, a wealth change, a directional change in your wealth. And it can also be very intense speech, because it's a house of speech. So look for that intensity around the 13th to the 15th regarding money, career, work, things, basically, all said and done, whether you're employed or independently employed. And yeah, like it's there. What can you do with it? And I'll be doing a deeper dive into that in an all signs video this month ahead, because it's so important to see that conjunction between Mars and Pluto for the first time since 240 years, right? So it's got intensity. Yeah, and Mars is the ruler in your chart, by the way. He does have some dominion over parts of your sky, and it could even lead in your chart to some kind of opportunity coming through from a wealthy or powerful person who supports you into a new career direction, opportunity, or job. Reading the 13th to the 15th of February. On the 20th to 23rd, Venus is going to co-join with Mars, cosmic lovers, sexual sizzle, hot, hot, hot. But it's your second house of money and earnings, and it's probably not romantic per se, but you may be coming into a very intense fusion of, Venus unite, Mars separate, Venus love, Mars hate. I don't know, a love-hate opportunity for money gain. This could also be very much like a synergy between these two planets. That is like you have some ambitious drive and willpower for a new financial direction, and Venus wants it to infuse it with enjoyment or infuse it with wealth. And so you're feeling that, especially with Pluto, Venus nearby. It's a wealth yoga, some real intensity that's really rare because Pluto's co-present, where you're finding a higher value in your earnings, a higher value in your vocational calling around wealth and earnings and money. On February 26th to the 28th, Mars will square Jupiter just as we saw Mercury do on February 10th. This is from Aquarius to Taurus, this is from your second house of money and earnings to the god of opportunity and expansion in the house of fun, joy, play, pleasure, leisure, travel, online, and entrepreneurial businesses, your children, your romantic partnership, etc. You could just be coming into another money challenge here. Like I kind of suggested February 10th was similar. And now we've got February, what was the date again? It's 26th to the 28th. You might have to cut off a child from spending so much money on your credit card. You may have to pull back on the pleasure, leisure, fun things that you've been doing to, contain your spending, because Mars does spend a whole lot of money in that second house. When he's there, he's a spender. And so you're looking at spending containment factors, saving money, trying to save money, trying to pull back on expenditures that are about enjoyment in your life, especially if they're involving fun leisure activities. And that could be a time of pulling back on the reins, February 26th to the 28th. Finally, on February 28th, Mercury and the sun will join in a cazimi in the heart of the sun, Mercury, very powerful reset button in Pisces. And that Pisces part of the sky, back it up. Go back to February 19th. I almost forgot to mention the home healing. I apologize. On February 19th, Chiron and North Node co-join at 16 degrees of Aries in the fourth house of home, property, real estate. Honestly, February 16th, you may be feeling a wound or a healing of a wound regarding where do I belong. You've been feeling that wound since 2019. Where's my true home? Where can I nest? What's my home? Where's my healing the mother wound as well since 2019. And now you're going to crash through a big healing energy, inflaming maybe on the 19th, and then the dust settles and it begins to heal. So if you have a healing needed around home, property, land, and real estate, certainly with Mercury in a sextile to that in the house of earnings, you could have the money to buy a home. You may possess a home, you may sell a home, but whatever it is, or you may stick the landing on a true home, or know where your true home can be, or even home yourself in a foreign land with Rahu there. Not on February 19th, but consider February 19th a reset button of a deeper, where is my true home? Question mark, looking for the answer. It may play out over the months that follow that conjunction. It certainly would likely finish its play until by January of 2025, when the nodes move out of Aries and Libra. And finally, the cazimi between Mercury, the sun, and Saturn, all three of them are in a triple conjunction. 9 Pisces will sextiling Jupiter at the same time. Holy moly. Pisces is your third house of siblings. You could heal something there, reset a button with a sibling. If there's been containment, contraction, and difficulty and hardship with a sibling, there's a healing potential reset button, because there's a sextile to Jupiter bringing goodness to the story. But also you could heal some kind of thing to do with a childhood friendship, or not even healing. You're resetting a button where there's been Saturnian constraint with a child, with a childhood friend, with something to do with your local neighborhood environment, your neighbors, maybe constraint and difficulty with neighbors. And you're resetting the button here. So it's like Saturn is resetting with Mercury Sun with a new devising of a plan. If you feel constrained around travel and it's not your thing maybe, and you've been unable to travel when you want to, or you've been traveling too much, short distance travel can also be reset for you. I think that sextile to Jupiter in your fifth house, though, can bring you a great deal of enjoyment of some kind of new project that you want to engage in online or in writing that brings you a great sense of excitement, joy, satisfaction, inspiration, and enthusiasm. And if you're an entrepreneurial type, this is doubly true. And with Jupiter, sextiling this event and him being in a condition of connection to your longer distance places of the 12th house, there may be something resetting here on February 28th, give or take 6 weeks after, where you have a reset button to do with travel, and not just local, but longer distance journeys. So let me know how that works out for you, because it looks like you may get some opportunities for long distance travel emerging on February the 28th. Okay, thanks for listening, everybody. And I will send this to, then you're going to get this recording shortly. Take care, everyone.